morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world or in your day. This is the What You Know About It podcast. It's Ra with my co-host as always, the Panic Hispanic himself, Edgar. How you doing, brother?
I wonder how many people out there are waiting for the episode where you say, and not this time, no co-host, because you keep saying that you want to find a new co-host.
So, are you saying that you want me to do an episode without you?
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm not against it. If you want to go do a solo episode.
I don't really want to. I mean, it's hard. It's harder to do it by myself. I mean, Minutes with Raw is cool, but I only got to wing that for about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Turn the mic on.
shorter segments.
And that's just me ranting on a little topic, which I'm about to do another one. But
No, I've been trying to think of like something that I can do solo, and I think I have an idea.
Mm.
And I'm probably going to try to do it this weekend.
Ooh.
So keep an eye on the Instagram. You'll you might see me just spontaneously go live at one point.
Wait, are you going to run this by me at all?
Nah.
Oh, okay. It's cool.
We're just gonna go for it, man.
Just gonna go for it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's
If
see.
it sucks, it sucks. I mean,
I am gonna be one of I'm gonna be just like the rest of the audience. I'm not even gonna know what's going on. That's kind of crazy.
I'll give you a heads up when it's gonna happen.
What's up, John? Good to see you.
Oh, first.
Oh,
Being first or
man.
last.
First, yeah, man. Hey, first one there is something special. Something special. Leah, we miss you. How you doing?
Ra and Leah. Already trying to fill these shoes. I see you.
Yep. See, I got your replacement right there. I like Leah. Leah's dope.
She is much prettier than I am. I'm not gonna lie.
She is far more prettier than you are, and hopefully, she'll be a little more respectful than you are.
Wow. But first, cheers, sir.
Oh, brother.
Today
Absolutely.
we are drinking Lost Coast's Great White beer.
Sponsor us, you sons of bitches.
And for Nikki, this is 4.8% alcohol today. So not the strongest, but dude, it's delicious. Tell me it's not good.
4.8. That's it. That's what you got me drinking. Don't show that label though, because they ain't pay us.
Oh my god, it's a pretty cool label.
No, don't show it. Don't show it. They got to sponsor us first. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. We can talk business. Hell yeah.
Yeah, call us after the show.
Call us after the show. Hit us up. Should we give the email out right now or later?
No, we'll wait until the end. That way we make sure that they're actually waiting until the end.
Right. Yeah, you got to get through the whole show. Man, but how's your week been?
The week's been interesting, actually. This week, Disney finally released tickets to their first ever event that they're going to be holding, where they actually open up a theme park. A Touch of Disney, it's called. Basically, like I've told you about the events that I've gone to for Knott's Berry Farm. They're pretty much doing exactly that, but it's like a food festival. They're going to open up California Adventure, $75 to get in. Sounds steep. I know it is. It's Disney. Get over it. Anyway,
Wow.
So you buy your ticket and you basically get, out of the $75, you get a $25 credit towards food at the festival.
Okay.
Parking's included in that, thank goodness.
Okay.
And then you basically get to roam the grounds, and there's like a bunch of photo opportunities for this like one time potentially event that's ever going to happen.
Ever?
I mean, especially since today they announced that theme parks are going to be allowed to open as of April 1st if we get into the red tier, at 15% capacity. So I don't know where that's going to throw a wrench in everything. I have a feeling everybody, because Knott's is doing their Boysenberry Festival just like they are with all their other food festivals that they've done. Disney's doing this A Touch of Disney thing. And then Universal is doing a Taste of Universal. They're opening up their park to have a food festival also. So I'm not sure what that's going to mean for opening of theme parks, but it sounds like that's on the horizon. I know you're probably wondering, am I interested in going? Not really. Yes and no. 15% capacity? That sounds kind of intriguing. I'm definitely interested in a more than empty park.
You could probably reasonably stay safe.
Yeah, and they're not opening, like, any indoor rides or anything like that. It's everything that's outdoors.
Okay.
It's just the cost. Like, are you really gonna charge us full price, or what are you gonna do? And I think I would pay it to just to experience it one time. I wanna be able to say when I get old that I
Mhm.
went to Disney when they first opened the park at 15% capacity.
What is your make or break scenario that's gonna either take you with yeah, you're going or no, you're not?
Um, if they just went full capacity. The capacity thing is definitely where I need I know what Disney's like when they don't let any more people in.
Mhm.
Impossible. You can't have that right now. There's no freaking way. So, I'm willing to wait. I'm not in a rush.
Okay.
But 15% capacity, I'm down.
I am yeah, 15% I would do it. I am not down to do anything at full capacity right now. I'm not
Yeah.
down to be shoulder to shoulders with anybody. I was actually driving through the streets a couple days ago and I saw a bunch of people at the bus stop.
Mhm.
And I wonder how they're navigating that. How are they navigating not filling up a public transportation bus in like a city like Los Angeles,
Yeah. Where
where
they rely heavily.
tons of people have to get to work that way?
Yeah.
Like, did they put more buses out and just say each bus is half capacity? Are they leaving the windows down? Because like when I was a kid and I had to catch the bus, during peak hours, you were
"Excuse
shoulder to
me,
shoulder with
excuse
people.
me, excuse me."
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
So, how are they navigating that, right? That's probably, and they probably only got so many people to so many drivers and so
Mhm.
many buses. So what do you do? Is are people just asked out? Sometimes you can't get on the bus. Like, how does that work?
I have to imagine that the bus drivers, I mean, I wonder what phase they're a part of in the vaccine process, because they are essential, like, more essential than a lot of
But
people.
it's not just the drivers though; it's the people getting on the bus.
No, I understand that, but I mean, the bus drivers have to feel safe when they go to work too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're right there by a window. Just open that window and just be like, just drive with your head out, like the whole time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make light of that, but
Well, speaking of the
you got
vaccine,
you gotta do something.
I did before we started recording, I went and registered on Athena today, to get in line basically on the virtual queue
Okay,
for the vaccine.
okay.
For anybody that doesn't know, Athena, OTHENA.com, is where you go to basically kinda get in line for the vaccine.
Mm,
My sister's fully vaccinated already, she already got both shots.
mhm.
My dad's got his first, he's getting his second next week.
Nobody in your house turned into a zombie yet?
No,
Nobody
everybody's
want to see
good.
flesh?
No, everybody's good so far.
Okay.
I'm hoping that by the time my turn comes up, I
Mhm.
think I belong in phase 3 as an, like, essential worker or whatever,
Okay.
um, that the Johnson& and Johnson one is good to go, where it's just one shot done.
Okay.
Because 'cause I'm not liking all these people that are, like, down for the count for, like, a day after they get that second shot. That does not sound like a good time.
I, in one way, I guess it's because my life, I'm living easy right now
Mhm.
in terms of like, I've come this far. If I got to wait a couple of months to see what the numbers are like or like, um, what residual effects there are, I'm perfectly okay waiting for a little while
Yeah.
because I'm not doing anything crazy. So
Um,
like, I'm in the groove, man. You know what I mean? So I want things to go back to normal, but at the same time, I want to do it right.
I think you got a routine down. My
Yeah.
my concern is obviously my family, so now that
Hmm.
they're getting their vaccine done, like,
Hmm.
I'm feeling less stressed out,
Yeah.
especially because I think I got it. I'm think just like a lot of people feel like they got it before the pandemic started. But for peace of mind, just to, like, go when I go to work, I don't have to be so, like, cautious or crazy about the 6-foot distancing thing, you know?
Yeah.
I get people that come up to me and I mean, I can't wear one of those, like, the surgical masks or, like, the heavy cloth masks when I'm at work.
Hmm.
I'm climbing up and down ladders, I'm moving patio furniture, barbecues, and things like that, like, really heavy things.
Hmm.
I'm taking deep breaths, and those masks, like, they're just not breathable at work.
Mm.
So, I wear a gaiter,
Hmm.
and I just make sure that I distance myself from everybody, like, to
Yeah.
the point where a lot of people get annoyed by me
Hmm.
because they're like they get closer and closer, and I'm, like,
You
getting
back up.
further and further away.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
tell them, like, "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, like, keep the 6-foot rule," and then they understand for the most part. I've had, like,
Yeah.
one guy flip out on me.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get emotional. Just,
Yeah,
it's all right. Just be cool.
yeah. But besides that, that's been what's going on this week.
Yeah.
What about you?
Let's see. John says we're at phase 4, Edgar, bottom of the barrel essential workers. Oh man.
I don't know, man.
um, my parents are vaccinated at this point,
Oh, nice.
so they're high risk. So that weight is kind of off my shoulders.
Mhm.
Me myself, again, I'm in the groove, so
No rush.
it's gonna do my time, man. All the
Yeah.
people that need to get vaccinated right away, whether, essential workers, whatever, nurses, firefighters, let them do it, let them
Mhm.
get it. And then the people that want to rush out and get it right away, whether, I know some people, I don't even know if they're essential workers that already got it. I don't know if they had a hookup or whatever the case is, but
Yeah, I've had some people that I know that got a hookup in some way.
yeah.
They were just able to get their in because they had, like, something that, like, slightly qualified
Hmm.
as, like, healthcare. Um, it's just I mean, I think it's just a matter of how
Yeah.
you word your registration on Athena.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm good. I only need to spend time with my children.
Yeah.
So, I'll wait a couple months. Like that, they're talking about
Mhm.
maybe like May or so, or a little around summer.
Yeah. That's
It's
when
fine.
everybody should be good to go.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. We'll get there. But man, it's a good thing you brought that up, man, because our topic today, and we kind of spoke about this when we caught up earlier this week, is Texas and Mississippi are removing all restrictions, all
When I
all
heard the
COVID-19
speech, my
restrictions.
mind just went, "Whoa."
Right. It was a mind blown kind of situation, right? You kind of go, what's the logic behind this?
Yeah.
And they're arguing that um
Cases are down. Like,
cases are down.
they're back down to, like, before not before the pandemic, but, like, the last, like, wave before the holidays.
Right. Right. But they're also arguing that in some places they're saying we never mandated mask and we're not any far worse than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Which that is it baffles me
Mhm.
how juvenile adults and people in positions of power are.
Yeah.
Like that is your point? That is your point? That's like that kid that goes, "But he did it, so why can't I do it?" Or "Why he get in trouble for it?" It's like,
Yeah.
that's not where we are. That's not where we are at all. So,
Yeah.
um, we are making progress. I wonder, like a small percentage of the population has been vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
So are our numbers going down because people for the last month or so are finally doing the right thing and buckling up and just kind of, you know, doing the right thing? Or, because it can't be the vaccines. It
Mhm.
can't be, unless you're going to tell me these essential workers, doctors, nurses, are the ones heavily spreading the virus, which I guess could be true to some
Yeah.
degree.
Very well could be. I mean, they were responsible for, some people getting sick inside of, like, senior citizen homes and things
Hmm.
like that.
Well, there was a lot of drama with that,
Yeah.
right? There was a lot of irresponsible behavior going on with senior
Mhm.
facilities and stuff that's just now starting to come to light.
Yeah.
And
And
how,
John was telling me about Cuomo
yeah,
being under fire right now
yeah.
because of, some stuff that was kinda swept under the rug in New York.
Hmm.
Um, it's just a scary thought. I mean, if you knew what was going on and you didn't do anything about it, like, this is quite alarming.
Crazy times, man. But I mean, I don't understand why now, like complacency is not what we need to do right now.
Yeah.
Right? We're finally starting to get into a good groove where things are starting to get better.
What it is that we finally hit a point where we don't have those family gathering holidays, where we don't have a ton of celebrations back to back to back to back.
Ain't that a bitch though? That's why.
I mean, that's Q4.
I mean,
That's what the
but
4th quarter of
but
the year
what
is.
that says is that we can't control ourselves, right?
I mean,
We can't
for the
stop
greater
hanging
good.
out. We can't stop doing the things that cost money,
Yeah.
even at our own detriment.
Yeah.
Like you might die, you might get sick, you might kill somebody, you might put somebody through. And it's funny because the only thing I ever hear is if you get COVID, either you die or you don't.
Yeah.
Not
There's no in between.
There's so many people dealing with long-term effects.
Yeah.
You know, it's not everybody, but there are people dealing with long-term effects, and, like, that's what worries me. What worries me is not that I get sick and die, because I know those percentages are low, but what if someone that I know or myself ends up with a chronic illness because of it long
Yeah.
term? I was listening to, some information earlier today, and they were saying, uh, that sometimes they find that because you've contracted COVID, your body will behave as if it has COVID up to 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
This is what they're starting to think. Even though the virus is cleared, your body is stuck in this stage. And so you may feel fatigue and flu-like symptoms or whatever for up to a year. And I'm not talking about the people that end up with like some weird lung disease that like they've been smoking for their whole life or whatever, or their liver's destroyed or whatever the case is. I'm just talking about people that just have to deal with these long-term symptoms. It's fucking nuts, man. I mean,
Well, that we've had research done on long-term diseases like cancer or, like what the long-term effects of smoking are. We
right.
don't know what COVID's gonna do to us in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you
No,
know?
no.
It's a new virus, and yeah, we've been able to, like, kinda categorize it as, like,
Mhm.
a flu-ish kinda virus, but ultimately, we don't know for sure that that's what it is, and that's what's weird about what they decided to do in
Yeah.
Texas and Mississippi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like why like we've already come this far. Why take the foot off the gas? Is it gonna
Espec
hurt you for a couple of more weeks to wear a mask or just watch where you go? Like it's reckless. It's really reckless that this governor would just say, "Hey, like no more mandates." Like you know how many people are just gonna say, like, "I don't want to wear a mask anyway. I'm just gonna walk into an establishment." And you know they've got businesses that say, "Oh, our employees are still gonna wear masks or
Yeah, thank
whatever,"
goodness.
but they're at risk. These are people who like they've got to put food on the table. That's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Like we're not even what I've seen, unfortunately, with this virus and this pandemic is that, excuse me, is that we as a as a culture are selfish. We're just so fucking selfish, man. And it's funny because right as I said that, Joel puts in the comments that it's because us as I mean, probably meant to say us because us as Americans we're selfish, but yeah, I mean we're just so damn selfish right now. You know, we only care about we want to go out, we don't want to be in the house, we want to do things. Um, we've been held back for the last 12 months or whatever,
Mhm.
and so we don't care that that person bringing us our food and our beverages. We don't care that that person is not doing well or is at risk to be sick, and like that person like makes very low money is just trying to feed their family or maintain their life, and we're putting them at risk just because you want to be out.
But it's not even just that too, because I do see the other side of it. There's businesses that have been shuttered because of the virus and all these
Yeah,
limitations that the
of
country has
course.
had.
Of course.
Um, a lot of restaurants and stuff like that, for example, are, takeout only or delivery only because they have like 1 or 2 tables inside of the restaurant that they aren't allowed to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know these businesses need to survive, but I just don't know that this was the right way to go. I don't know. Um, Retail business, obviously corporations and things like that, they've all figured it out. They've all had the handouts that the government has given,
Mm-hmm.
um, for bonuses and, tax cuts and whatever they need. But a lot of these small businesses, I mean, if I think there's a lot of the small businesses that are getting saved
Yeah.
because of what Texas and Mississippi have decided to do.
You could look at it that way, but you know, I mean, those numbers are those numbers,
Mhm.
right? Like we lost people, like, you know, we lost lives,
Yeah.
you know, we ain't getting those back.
Yep.
And some of those lives that got lost is because we were selfish.
Yeah.
And all we thought about was the dollar. All we thought about was our personal wants and needs. And we didn't think about humanity as a whole, that we were all in this together.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, we need to keep the train moving to some degree. And I'm not saying that we can't start to loosen up things a little bit, but you got to be careful, right? You got to remember, most of our rules are not for the common regular folk. Most of our rules is to correct stupid.
Yeah.
right? The reason why when you buy a hot cup of coffee and the cup says caution hot,
Yeah.
like you didn't just buy a hot coffee, is because we have
One
to protect
dumbass out
against
there.
stupid. Yeah.
One dumbass out there
Yeah.
decided that it
Yeah.
was gonna get on
Someone
his
got
hand.
away with, yeah, like, oh, the coffee spilled on me and it was hot. Like, how dare you?
You guys didn't tell me.
Yeah. Like, I just didn't assume it was gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so that's kind of it. So when we that's the reason, like, you may understand that, yes, this mandate, like my thought process, me personally, the day they say, hey man, we're all good, we're ready to go, the world is back to normal,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna take about a week or two before I really touch the world like that. I might not wear a mask. I'm still gonna watch my spacing. I'm still gonna minimize where I go for like next week or two after they give us the green, because I want to make sure those numbers are very minimal
Yo, for sure.
before I do that. Like we've already come this far. We might as well. Like, yes, there's a lot of businesses that didn't make it, and that's tragic, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some of them, I mean, just think about if we did the right thing right away, we probably would have been out of this 6 months ago.
Mhm.
But we're not, because we didn't, because we're short. We are so short sighted in our thought processes. You know, it's a little nuts. It's a
Yeah.
little nuts. Governor, the governor is trying to keep his job. It's a political move because of the power grid failure. Probably. I mean, Texas had it rough. I actually have a friend whose dad is there. I should have asked him how he felt. What that scenario was like, and I've only kind of heard a few things, but yeah, Texas. Texas is set up in a weird way.
I
They're
didn't
one of the few
realize
states.
I didn't realize it was so
They've
complicated.
Yeah, they've got their own shit going on. It's like they're American, but they don't want to be a part of America. Like if they
Yeah.
ever have to break off,
They're ready.
they're ready and they can.
Yeah.
And they threatened that a bunch of times too,
Yeah.
to unionize, whatever the word is for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got like independent energy situations going on, and they weren't ready, and God knows. Hey, did you hear that when power came on for some people, that because they have, the fixed rate and then the whole flex
Oh,
thing or
yeah.
whatever,
I read about this
that's
today.
they said this one lady, she said she's got like a 700 square foot apartment, and her energy bill, and they sent it to her, was $10,000.
Yeah. And they're not gonna correct it, from my understanding either.
How can you expect to
S
collect that?
Somebody just made a mistake and forgot to, like, change back the pricing for, like, what fee there was supposed to be at the time, and
I
they're
don't think
just
that's
not
a
gonna correct
mistake.
it.
I don't think that's a mistake. That's
Yeah.
what you would charge, right? Like if you're on that variable thing or whatever,
Yeah.
that's what you would, because it's supply and demand,
It's peak
right?
peak times or
Right.
whatever,
And
yeah.
then so based on what was happening with the numbers, that's what it cost, right? But the problem is, this is not this is not regular supply and demand. This is, we fucked up with our infrastructure.
Yeah.
How can you charge that?
Yeah.
How can you charge that? And then expect someone who lives in a 700 square, look, if you live in a 700 square foot apartment, two things are happening, probably. You ain't got no money,
Yeah.
or you ain't got no family, and you're
Yeah.
starting your life. Either way, you're not rich.
You're probably not ready to drop
You ain't
$10,000,
got
huh?
10K. Your car probably costs less than 10K and you financed it. So do you really expect to collect that from someone ever?
That's
Like
nuts.
what's the end game there?
Yeah.
Besides just fucking people over. Like someone's got to do something about that. Man,
So knowing what we know about Texas lifting the order, do we think that's gonna last? Do we think that that's gonna be for, like, going forward? Like, they're just gonna that's it? It's over? Or is that I'm thinking Biden's gonna have something to do about this, like, he's just gotta, like, say something or I don't know.
I mean, he already said his piece. You can
Yeah,
only
he
do
said
so
his
much.
Neanderthal thinking.
Yeah. I would be careful with wording though. I,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd use the word Neanderthal, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I
I
mean,
thought I was under the impression that Biden well, he made the executive order that he broke, like, day 1,
mhm,
that you're supposed to wear a mask in, like, any public place or whatever.
okay.
And then, with Texas, like, lifting that, I was like, "Wait a minute, didn't Biden, like, make a rule again about that? Like, you're supposed to, like, it's a government like, a federal rule now."
I don't
But
know.
I guess you can override
I
that. I
mean
didn't know
I
that.
mean, it's all I can say is it's Texas, bro.
Yeah.
It's Texas
And Mississippi.
and Mississippi. John, if there's no spike in Texas in the next few weeks, then we need to question our lockdown. John, I don't think you're wrong about that.
Yeah,
I don't think it I think no matter what, every periodic, amount of time, we should be questioning what we're doing,
absolutely.
right? Like if the numbers say one thing, then we should be leaning one way and adjust. That's the thing. Like there's not a hard rule. I kind of equate it to raising children, right? Like you don't just say this is my rule and that's it, that's all. Right? Your kids change over time. The things that they have access to change over time. I just kind of even not that I bring up my daughter like literally like every show, but like just recently I started letting her watch a little more different material, uh TV wise and whatever, just because she's a little older and she handles it better now, and figuring out where that new line is has been a journey.
Yeah.
And it should be the same thing even with this because numbers are changing, events are fluid. Every town, city, state may be different,
Mhm.
right? Texas has a certain number of people. They also have a lot of rural areas, a lot of small towns, right? It might not make sense for this small town to have a full lockdown because they've got, I don't know, 10,000 people and only like two people have COVID. I don't know. It might not make sense for that, right? And so
Mhm.
you can let that economy thrive as much as possible, as much as it can. Um,
But then you get people that flock to it.
that's the problem, right? Because we're doing this traveling, we're doing all this other stuff, and so you're kind of taking things with you. And again, if I've always questioned the whole, like I went to the doctor today, right? And I walked into the general office, and there was a lady outside. And she scanned my forehead to check my temperature. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I get what you're doing, but I'm also in a hospital. So if I have COVID, I should be here anyway. So this makes no sense. Um, the other thing is just because my temperature is not up doesn't mean I'm not infectious,
Yeah.
right? Like that's self-explanatory. And people are still treating COVID as if, you're only contagious once you
Show symptoms.
show symptoms. You're
Yeah.
contagious before you show symptoms,
Yeah.
before you know you have it. That's the problem. That's the reason why this whole shit got out of hand because you feel well one week, you go out and hang out, and then you get sick. You're like, oh shit, I got COVID. Who was I hanging around all last week when I
Yeah.
didn't think I was sick?
Yeah.
That's who probably has it. That's probably who I gave it to. That's the problem there. So, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So, yeah, John, you're not wrong. We need to question all those things. But, Edgar, I mean, my question to you, man, is what would you do? Like, if you live there in Texas, I mean, would you be nervous right now, like being there and knowing that this goes into effect on Wednesday?
I mean, Edgar in Texas, it depends. I mean, I'm in Texas for a reason.
Mm,
I'm either there because of I like the state of Texas and what they represent,
mhm,
or I'm there because it's a cheaper cost of living.
mhm.
Cheaper cost of living, Edgar would still wear a mask everywhere and be very cautious about who he's hanging out with out there. Um, Edgar that likes what the state of Texas represents, might be backing what the governor's doing.
Right.
I might be all for it.
I mean,
But
is it about
well, like, let me ask you that. So Raw in Texas Raw, you don't think he'd be freaking stoked to like go to a movie theater finally?
I mean, ain't no movies playing right now.
I mean,
But I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
there's a lot of things that we did in public. If Disneyland was in Texas, I'd be like, hell yeah, like we get to go to Disneyland
Right.
again. If Disneyland decided they wanted to
Does
open,
does does Disney have a joint in Texas? They
no,
got
no, not
anything?
at all.
No.
No,
Okay.
Texas has the Alamo and like
Oh.
a Six Flags.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Texas does a lot of things right.
Yeah,
Um, but I almost want to feel like this is more about that whole mindset of let's keep government out of our lives as much as possible.
for sure.
But in so many instances, it's almost like we need parents
Yeah.
sometimes, because without these rules being set, people don't know how to act. And that might not be you. That might not be the people in our chat right now,
Mhm.
which we know most of them personally,
They have common sense,
right?
like
Like you might be able to navigate all that and go, look, I know where I should be. I know where I shouldn't be. I know, you know, I shouldn't be in these crowds or whatever.
that's the part I'm for. Like, Texas lifting the ban,
Mhm.
like, in on paper, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. If you have a
But you want
state
that. You
if you
want
have
that
a state full
anyway.
of if you have a state full of adults that have common
But
sense,
we don't.
that know that they need to keep a distance, if they feel sick, they stay home, you open businesses to a certain extent and,
Mhm.
make sure that you're just not spreading the virus.
Mhm.
Like, you just keep that top of mind,
Right.
but it's not like that
Right.
anywhere. Like, even in democratic states where, people that are Democrats feel that the virus is, like, a bigger deal than most Republicans do.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So I got a question. Even for you guys in the chat, y'all can answer this also. What would it hurt? We've come this far. What would it hurt to just keep this notion that we should wear masks for a couple more weeks?
it
Like,
wouldn't be
is
a
it
couple
that?
more weeks, it's a couple more months.
I mean, number of weeks. I don't know. Maybe by next week numbers are lower and we can adjust that again. Like how John said, we should be addressing this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So what does it hurt? Like, because the numbers aren't like pre-COVID or anything, or not pre-COVID. That's probably wrong because pre-COVID there's zero.
yeah.
But you know,
Pre-pandemic.
the numbers aren't like beginning of the pandemic where we're just kind of like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
The numbers are just lower. Like we're in a good trend.
That
We're
beginning of the pandemic too, you gotta remember that testing was not as
right.
readily available as it was right
Right.
now.
But the difference is we're doing a lot of testing and we're getting less positive tests. So that's the good thing,
Mhm.
right? So we're trending in the right direction. So what would it hurt to just hold it down just a little longer and get away from the immediate gratification and just hold it down so we can like we've been here before, bro. This was last summer.
Yeah.
This is last
Right before
April or
the
so when they go,
holidays.
hey, by summer we'll be done with this. Hey, by Halloween we'll be done with this.
Well, this is right before the holidays when the holidays hit, I think that's when they started really clamping down on everything,
Hmm.
and they started, telling people, like, "You're not allowed to go trick or treating."
Right, but how did we get there? Right,
Yeah.
that was after 4th of July celebrations. That was after Labor Day
Summers and
celebrations.
stuff at the beach and
There was
parks and
after like
barbecues and
yeah,
yeah.
people congregating at beaches and stuff like that. So there was a lot of stuff in play
Yeah.
that contributed and got, obviously everyone, like it's been a year now, so everyone's had a birthday and shit,
Mhm.
right? So some people now in this
Including the
COVID has
Rona.
had two birthdays,
Yeah.
right?
Happy birthday, coronavirus.
Man, I mean it's just it's bullshit,
Yeah.
you know? Like no one wants to live this life, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it hurt to just
Hold it down. A
hold it
little
down?
longer.
We've already came this far. We've already came this far. Like, why not? I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Like this whole like, I think people go a little too far with this whole don't let government control shit,
Yeah.
because then you fuck around and then you need something from the government. You're like, why are they not there for me?
Yeah.
Why are they not stepping in? Why are they not in control? Like, I bet those people that didn't have any lights was like, where's the government to turn these lights on?
Yeah.
Right. And so there needs to be a balance. Like, let's not pretend it's like this whole defund the police shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, let's not be dumb.
You need the cops,
We
okay?
need cops. Right. Like, I mean, you could say we need to reform it. We need to put money in different
Yes,
places. You could
yes.
say, whatever. But let's not
Defend
pretend.
them let's not defund them completely.
Yeah, let's not pretend like, oh, let's just do some RoboCop shit, and there's just,
T-1000 somewhere? No,
yeah,
that's Terminator.
yeah, this whole lawless, scenario, like that's gonna play out properly.
What was the name of the bad guy in RoboCop?
Shit, the big robot.
Yeah. Yeah, not the dude.
Why I almost say R2D2.
Oh, man.
It is Ed
John, I feel like you got this.
Ed 1000. Ed is something.
Edgar.
Edgar. It's Ed
It has
something.
been so long since I've watched RoboCop.
RoboCop is dope, bro.
There
I
was a
saw
video
that.
game, I don't know if you
I
remember this from when you were younger,
uh
but there was a RoboCop versus Terminator video game.
Oh, I remember the RoboCop game
Yeah, that was
on
awful.
Nintendo. That was
It
dope.
was an arcade port, first of all. It was on the arcade first.
I don't
That's where I
care.
played it, and
I
I
don't
gave it
care.
so much money.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I liked it, but yeah. Ed 209.
Okay.
Bam.
Is that
Yeah.
accurate? Because I feel like we need to look that up.
Look that shit up. Look it up. Look it up. Ed 209. Bet.
Let me see. God. RoboCop. It's in the first one, right?
Yeah. Ed 209.
Yeah, Ed 209.
Bam.
Nailed it.
You owe me a drink.
Who bought the beer?
Okay. All right. All right. Touche. Touche. You finally did something right, co-host.
Wow.
Leah, where you at?
Hey, Leah.
I got a chair for you right over there.
It's nice and warm already.
A chair for you right over there. I just need a commitment of once a week.
Mhm.
I will do all the show notes. You know what? You could host the show. I'll be your co-host.
Oh.
Oh, I would
You
never
better
do that
you
for
have to know
Edgar.
how to edit.
You do have to know how to edit.
Yeah.
That's a trade off. It's kind of funny. Like our dynamic is funny because like you'll just call me out the blue, like, so we haven't spoke this week.
Yeah.
Let's do this topic. And I'm like, all right, fuck. I'm driving around like, all right, fuck. Yeah. I'll edit it. And then you just leave. Like the people don't know when this mic turns off, he just up and walks out the door.
Yeah, we're done.
And then I gotta do shit.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, like, just let me know when you put it up. I'm like,
To be fair, I've seen you edit.
mhm,
You talk to yourself.
I do.
You click, 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 and it seems like in like a couple hours, it's done.
It's kind of what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like if I'm in here, like I'm just interrupting.
But you could learn.
How to edit?
Yeah, it's a trade that a lot
How
of
do I
people don't know how to do.
practice with a software that costs probably as much as my laptop does?
This is true.
Like, how do I practice that?
By watching me do it, and then, I mean, the thing is, like, I've learned to edit so well
Yeah.
that this is gonna sound really weird. You're gonna think
Yeah.
I'm weird, but I can sometimes know what you said by looking at your sound waves.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can see that 100%. I
I'm
can
like,
see
oh,
that.
that's when he coughed. Oh,
Yeah.
that's when he like said this sentence or whatever. Like I don't know how I can do that.
Something funny happened there because somebody laughed or we both laughed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that right there, that's a little noise. I can just cut that out. I don't even have to play it, and I know
Yeah.
what it is. And then sometimes I'll play it for reassurance, and I'm like, why did I even listen to it? I already know exactly what it was.
Your ability to edit audio is how I approach photo editing. Like I'll
Mm,
take a picture and I already know like what I need to do to it. I need to get rid of a lot of the shadows that are in this picture. I already
yeah.
know I need to get rid of I need to up the contrast. Like it's just, I mean, it's a muscle memory. It's a muscle memory at this point. You just
Right.
kind of know.
You're right. That's funny. Hey, you know what? We got to get my boy on here because I know you guys are gonna have a field day talking about photography,
Yeah,
which I know nothing about. You know,
I
you
got
guys
you.
are next level. I'm gonna be sitting there in the corner just letting y'all talk.
This is gonna be like with Richard. I mean, when we started getting in deep into video games, I was like, I know Ra's not following right now.
I mean, I was following it. I was following it, but I just like to see Richard geek out, man.
Yeah,
Like for him to be like, and he's older than me, so like to just watch him geek out and shit, and just always like, anytime I'm around Richard, I remember like it's important to enjoy life.
yeah.
You know, like that's the lesson I get every single time I'm around Richard. You
Anytime
know.
I'm around somebody that gets that like passionate about something,
Hmm.
it just reminds me to like remember what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Keep doing what I'm passionate
That
about.
dude lives on his passion. You could
For sure.
tell. Like you see how he talks about being Kevin, like his energy.
Yeah. He got I mean, everything that he talked about, you can tell like he's living his dream life.
Yeah, yeah. He literally operates from a place of love.
Mhm.
It always it's humbling. It's really humbling to be honest with
He
you.
could be broke and I think he'd still be just as happy if he was doing that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it's his passion. John says, I hate wearing a mask, but I'd wear a mask to see all businesses reopen. It's heartbreaking to see people's lives. So that's the point, John.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's all I'm saying. Like not just for you. Like, let's do it for everyone. Let's
Yeah.
get back to normal, right? Like this is a sacrifice. And that's the part over the last year that has disturbed me the most.
Mhm.
Is that people are just like, if you want to take your own risk, like I got a brother, his risk factor is different than my risk factor. He doesn't have many children, right? He's out there, he's got his roommate, he's got his girlfriend, and they live a certain lifestyle. They can congregate a little bit. And he's chosen, I am not gonna go see my parents during this pandemic. Like I'm not gonna go stand and go walk in the house. And it's the most mature shit you could ever do.
Yeah.
Because he's made certain choices for himself, right? And he's not gonna endanger the rest of my parents' house. It's respectable. And he's pretty young, he's super healthy. So yeah, if he gets it, he probably is okay. I made the same choice. I have to be around my children. My children are physically in school.
Mhm.
I've gone to see my parents a handful of times. I stay outside on the porch.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, uh, I do that with everyone else. One of my close friends. I've been dying to hang out with him. It hasn't worked out. He's a nurse. And it's like right now we're in a pandemic. I'm dying to see him. He's like a brother to me. Hard times. We're all making sacrifices, but if we do it now, we don't have to, like my mom said, like this is hard for her because she feels like life is going by. How many days do we have?
Yeah.
Right? Like she got a little morbid about it and she was kind of like, what if by the time we got out of this, like something happens, to her?
But it's real. Like that's true.
And she never gets to hug her grandchildren again or whatever.
Yeah.
And there are people who that's been their experience and they're not with us anymore.
Yep.
So that's why it's important we hold it down so that we can get back to normal, so we can help folks like how John said, so people don't have to, continue to lose jobs and wages and, everything else. Like I know my kids at this point, up until when they went back to school, they were suffering from not being able to thrive properly
Mhm.
as children. There's so many kids are behind. Like my son is struggling with reading because of it. I just recently, oh, you're gonna be proud of me, man. So we had a teacher conference
Okay.
with my son. He's doing okay,
Okay.
right? Reading, he's a little behind. So what I did was I took him to the comic book store. And I
Oh,
got him his first comic book, and I let him choose whoever he wanted. He chose Batman.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he got his first Batman comic, and we read a couple pages. He was super stoked on it.
Yeah,
So yeah, so some of it was above his weight, but
for
like
sure.
I sat there and I read it with him, so we
Yeah,
got through it. And
you gotta get him the new Star Wars children's books.
mm, yeah, so like the comic book store we go to is a pretty extensive. They got everything, bro.
Yeah,
They got everything. So
that's
you
cool.
know,
That's gonna be a memory that's gonna live with you forever, I feel like.
yeah, I'm gonna take him every month. That's how I got Haley to start reading too, because she hated it. And then I took her and I let her pick out because at that time Wonder Woman was coming out, so I had her pick out a Captain Marvel and a Wonder Woman comic book.
You had her or she picked him out?
Well, I suggested those characters to her because they were my thought process was
She'll
su-
read these, she'll get into the movie and wanna see
well
the movies.
they were already advertising both those movies.
Yeah,
It was kind of the hot thing, girl character she could relate to.
yep.
So I was like, I suggested it and she was like, yes. And then she read it and, she was like, she was down because her mom was trying to get her to read, but like she hated everything.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna get her this. And then we went to go see Wonder Woman and she was all in
Okay.
and she wanted to read it. And the same thing happened with Captain Marvel. And then after that, she got into Harry Potter and she's already read, she's 11. She's already read all the books.
That's how I got really into reading too, 'cause I still remember to this day, like, randomly walking into a comic book store when I was younger.
Hmm.
My mom used to go to this grocery store down in I think it was Anaheim,
Okay.
and there's this comic book store that was next door, and while she was grocery shopping, I would be over at the comic book store just browsing, and I'm sure the comic book shop owner hated me for
Mm.
going in there and touching, like, everything.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, there was a time where she let me buy some comic books, and I remember buying a Spider-Man comic book specifically. No villain of any notoriety whatsoever. I remember he was able to get really big. He was, like, basically Ant-Man, but he was a villain version of Ant-Man.
Hmm.
I can't remember what his name was.
Yellow Jacket?
No, it was not in, like, the Ant-Man realm whatsoever.
Oh.
This dude just had, like, I think he wore something on his head or something that made
Mm.
him bigger. Um, but I just remember reading that comic book and that it was on. Ever since then, it was just on. Um, Sonic the Hedgehog had comic books,
Really?
and I was all into those. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I was all into the Sonic the Hedgehog, comic books, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books I got into. I mean, at the time, those were the cartoons that I grew up with.
Mhm.
So I was more drawn into those than I was into the
That's how it
X-Men's,
works, man. Like, when you need to get your kids to read, like, you let them just read whatever they're interested in,
as long as it's
and
words
yep, and
and
let
not
it
bad words.
and then let it translate, and you can better get them to read other things after that, but you just
Yeah.
have to get them to love reading.
Then I got into, like, anime, and when
Mm.
I got into anime, that I think that really got me into, like, well, graphic novels, essentially.
Mhm.
Um, I started reading, like, the Dragon Ball, like, manga books and, like, Pokemon manga books, and the buddies would, like, go to Japan and, like, bring me Japanese books, and I had no idea what they said,
Mhm.
but I would try to figure it out.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yeah, yeah. But, hey, when did you say you were going to that, you were getting tickets for that, Disneyland thing? When is that?
That's, April 10th.
Okay.
I've got like, so going back to the virus thing, um, kind of a crappy month, I guess. It's a good month, but it's a crappy month because I'm gonna be in one wedding tomorrow for one of my best friends. Um, I'm going to Hawaii during this pandemic.
Mm.
Um, and literally the only reason I think I'm going to Hawaii is because I actually feel almost like it's safer to be in Hawaii than it is to be here right now.
Yeah.
Um,
You just gotta survive the airport.
yeah, the airport and the airplane ride. Even the
Yeah,
airplane
the
ride will be
airplane's
fine.
fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna double mask it when I go on that. Um, but you have to test before you go to Hawaii.
Mhm.
Within 72 hours of your departure, of your last leg going into Hawaii. So I'm gonna go take a test on Sunday. I've taken like 2 in the last week just to make sure that I'm gonna get my results back in time,
Mhm.
just to see where, I have Kaiser as my insurance,
Mhm.
to see what their turnaround time is like, and so far it's been 24 hours. Like, I literally go 9 AM, and then by, like, 7 AM when I wake up, I get the results back.
Mm.
So, I'm going to Hawaii, and then I have another one of my best friends that I'm gonna be in a wedding for, and it sucks to hear, like, tomorrow is gonna be, our good friend Garrett's wedding. Um, he had to postpone his reception a full year. Um, I mean, you get married hopefully once in your life, and I'm sure the bride is not, thrilled about having to split up the wedding in such a way.
It just sucks, man.
It does.
It just sucks, that so many people have to make concessions on
On these
all of this.
milestone events, like
Yeah,
milestones.
yeah. I have a friend, um, his daughter graduated high school last year,
Yeah.
missed prom,
Yep.
like, you don't get that back.
Nope.
Graduation.
I'm sure it'll be a theme for a future rave at some point.
I mean, but it's still not the same.
I know it's not the
Like,
same.
you didn't get your prom, you didn't get your graduation,
Yeah.
Like, you just have to chalk it up like,
You were part of a special year.
yeah, everyone in your generation in that year. And the thing is, like, you're kind of alone, right? This is kind of like what I tell my daughter. Like, she missed a school trip last year. She was supposed to go on a fifth grade big trip, whatever.
Yeah, there's always that, like, what was in 5th grade? I think Astro Camp?
It was like science camp or something,
Yeah.
yeah. And we had already paid for it and everything, and they had to
Yeah.
refund us our money. And
That's a shame because I have memories from that.
I had to use my friend's daughter as an example. I go, look, like, I know this sucks, but I'm so happy that this could have been such a bigger, more critical time in your life.
Yeah,
This could have been like my friend's high school daughter. She will not get that memory back.
she can make up camp.
Yeah, you can make up. Yeah, yeah. We could send you somewhere on a random summer or
Yeah,
whatever, but like, there's
to a
just
cooler
certain things
camp.
you just don't get back. You know,
That's a bummer.
it's just it's crazy, man. Like weddings, like our friends, like they're getting married, and I'm glad like they're able to do what they need to do what they want to do to some degree.
Mhm.
But it would have been so much more grander had we had it had they had it the
The way
way
that it was
weddings are
planned out,
supposed to be done.
the way they had originally planned it.
Yeah.
I went to the rehearsal yesterday,
Mhm.
and it's my first time really witnessing what a wedding is like during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Um, they have everybody, like, super limited amount of people. There's less than, like, 25 people in that church. And this
Mhm.
church, the max capacity is, like,
Mhm.
I wanna say close to at least 500, maybe upwards of 500,
Yeah.
and they're gonna allow, like, 25 people inside of that
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Um, Less than that. Uh, I'm one of the groomsmen. The only people that are gonna be up on stage, I mean, are gonna be the bride and the groom, and then the best man, the maid of honor, the priest that's marrying them.
Mhm.
All the groomsmen are on the first row of the benches, and there's only 3 per row. Luckily, it's a small wedding party, but
Right.
then the parents have to sit, like, 4 or 5 rows back. I mean, I don't remember the last time that I was at a wedding where they sat, but it just feels like they're probably just as bummed
The
out, you
parents
know?
are for both are usually in the first couple of rows,
Yeah.
uh, on both sides.
They're definitely more than a few rows
So
back.
yeah, it's like like they're important to the
Yeah,
scenario. So like first row, like kind of but
and I got
yeah.
the other groom for the other wedding that's gonna be next month. He's texting us about how, masks are gonna be required during the majority of the ceremony and everything.
Hmm.
He's still gonna hold his reception. It's a small reception, but masks are 100% required on the dance floor. And it's kinda like, I mean, it's not gonna bother me, but, it's just not what you're imagining your wedding pictures to look like.
Yeah,
Those are usually the ones where people are making, like, crazy funny faces on the dance floor, and now you're just gonna get a bunch of masks everywhere.
it's. I mean, the only thing, and those people they're forced to look at it like our love endured
Yeah.
even through this.
Yeah,
That's the only thing they can do, and it's a powerful thing, but it's unfair,
it is.
you know. And there's a lot of reasons that maybe people who have never been married they don't understand. Like some of these weddings, they can't be postponed anymore because vendors are saying the flower person is saying you spend thousands of dollars with like this needs to happen now. You don't get a refund, or
Yeah.
the caterer or whatever. Like you've already dropped money, you know. And so at some point you gotta do something. I had a neighbor who, they just had to figure it out and they had to dwindle the list all the way down and they pissed a lot of people off because it's kind of funny because even people still don't even get it,
Yeah.
but you just, you got to work with what you got because you don't get it back. And, I mean, I guess you can minimize it and say, hey, next year maybe we'll do something bigger. But, it's one of those things that if you don't do it, you don't get that first impression back.
Mhm.
But, John says, or don't get married. Oh man, you preaching to the choir, brother. I could
Oh,
say that,
no.
John, because I already did that once, so I can
You
say
made it
that.
out alive.
But I would never repeat that to my friends because they deserve they deserve to be married. But oh man, it
Oh,
is what it is. It is what it is. But hey man, if I know them, they are gonna make the best of it. They're gonna have a good time,
yeah.
and hopefully
That reception is gonna be killer.
yeah, it better, it better.
Hey, there was something that came up that I forgot to mention to you early on.
Have you seen?
Um,
Uh,
did you, uh did you see that somehow Lola Bunny from Space Jam
Mhm.
is in the DCEU now.
Huh?
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know who Lola Bunny is Bugs Bunny's female counterpart. In the Space Jam movie, the original one, well, the new one with LeBron James that's coming out.
I saw her redesign.
Yeah,
They
apparently
made her hips a little smaller.
apparent
Not that I was looking. That's a little
Whoa.
weird. But that was like the emphasis. That was the emphasis. That was the emphasis. That's not what I'm saying, but
Okay,
yeah.
anyway.
Anyway, I have to
Apparently
clear that up really quick, but yeah.
apparently there's a scene in the movie where she's friends with the Amazonians from the Wonder Woman franchise, and that somehow gets her involved in the DCEU. And this is another reason
Where'd you
why
read
the
that?
MCU is so much better than the
Where'd you read that?
DCEU. IGN posted it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna
credible
ignore that.
resource.
I'm gonna ignore that one. I'm gonna ignore that one. Have you been seeing these Justice League trailers?
Mm-mm. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I actually paused my DC movie marathon, um, because I want Aquaman and
That don't matter.
I want Aquaman and what was the other one that I didn't watch? Well, the original Justice League I didn't watch.
Don't watch it.
The Suicide Squad
Yeah, you should watch that.
and Harley Quinn.
Don't watch that.
I held off on watching all those because I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the Zack Snyder cut comes out.
I love you like a brother. Don't watch Harley Quinn.
Oh my god! All right.
Don't even bother. Don't even bother.
I mean, I feel like I should have some sort of context
No,
before I
no, no,
watch
no, no.
these
You don't need that context.
this 5
No,
hour
no,
long
no, no, no.
epic.
It's not a part. For one, it's not a part of it until no.
All right. So just go straight to the Zack Snyder cut and just get it over with.
I mean, you can watch Aquaman. Aquaman's fun. It's
Yeah.
just not relevant.
Yeah.
But Aquaman's fun. It's a fun watch. You're gonna be like
I'll be entertained.
you'll be entertained.
Okay.
You'll be wowed with how they made that work.
Yeah.
Um, but the content doesn't really matter.
Okay. It's an
Um,
origin story, but it has no tie-in.
yeah, no, not really, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, you just Suicide Squad is a fun watch though.
Yeah.
You're gonna enjoy that. You're gonna be like, they could have did so much
Yeah.
better. Like it gets good, and you're like, okay, I'm in, and then you're like, well, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I mean, hey man,
Like, I'm just trying to catch up at this point, okay? I just want to be up to speed with what's going on.
wait, have you? Okay, fuck DC right now. Fuck all that.
No, I have not finished watching Daredevil.
Fuck that right now.
Oh, Jesus.
WandaVision.
Yeah, I'm saving it.
No, there's nothing to save.
Bro, I have a 6.5 hour flight to Hawaii. What else do you want me to do I mean, I bought a Star Wars book to
Mhm.
read, but I figured I'll just marathon WandaVision because I feel like that's kind of a thing to do. Am I gonna be disappointed if I just watch them all back to back to back to back?
I'm actually gonna do that.
Okay.
Um,
Next or this coming Wednesday, I'm
mhm.
gonna get started around 8 AM.
Okay,
I mean, that's all that's I saved it just for that.
but did you really?
Yeah, because I knew the season was ending today, if that doesn't clue everybody in on when we're recording this.
I don't believe you, man. You be lagging.
I hate watching shows that I don't have
But
the
that was a big part of
I'm not the most interested in this WandaVision TV show. Like, it's not The Mandalorian to me,
yeah,
you
but
know?
you missed the ride, bro. You missed the
Okay.
ride.
I'm alright with
Because
it.
like once like some people I noticed like people younger than me had a hard time um getting into it the first 3 episodes.
Let me give you my impression of what I feel like people that were interested in the show that watched it felt like when they were watching it. About accurate?
Depend on who you are, man. Depend on who you are, because being someone from my era, which you technically belong to,
Barely.
um,
Nikki would argue that.
I am not talking to Nikki right now. Is Nikki on? I don't even want to know if Nikki on right now. She's probably still doing her thing,
Yeah, she's probably busy right now.
but we beefing right now. We beefing right now.
I know who's not gonna be your new co-host.
You know what? And she was up next. She was up next.
Leah just jumped up a little
Yeah,
further in line.
Leah's up here now. But it was one of those things where, like, I remember, when shows was on TV, those days I stayed home from school, I was sick or whatever, and I Love Lucy would come on
Oh god, those
on
are
the
my
week
favorite
or on the
days.
weekend when I was really little,
Yeah.
and Bewitched was on a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I Love Lucy. You had me
You
there.
know,
You lost me at Bewitched.
Dick Van Dyke on Nick at Night or whatever.
Not the same generation.
Like those things were on. You kind of Family Ties.
Okay, you're getting me back.
Those sorts of things was on TV.
Little Price is Right.
But you kind of
It's too new for you.
you see those shows. No, but they grabbed elements from all those shows. They even go down to Malcolm in the Middle. Those sorts of things, Modern Family, all those sorts of things. And there's these homages to it, right? And they tell a story inside of it. And the first 3 episodes are back in the day from like the 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
So it's black and white. And the thing is, like, you turn it on, like, there's not much happening at first
Mhm.
because it's all set up, right? You got to remember, like, if you watched a Marvel movie or any kind of movie, the first 10 to 15 minutes is like all set up, right? A lot of exposition, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of have to take the first 3 episodes. You're like, well, what the fuck is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
Why is it happening? Right? And so it's black and white. They're setting the premise. And then they're paying homage to Bewitched, I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke. And you're like, And then you go, why are they acting like this?
Yeah.
And they have these interesting ways. And they keep it short and sweet. Like, had you had to sit through like a whole hour of that or something like that, you'd be like, okay, this is boring.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a quick 30 minutes or less. And you're going to sit there and you're going to go, why are they acting like that? And then it has a certain way of ending where you go, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Like, it literally makes you question, did you miss something?
Yeah.
Right? Because like it kind of goes down like as a sitcom, but it's a parody of some sort.
Yeah.
And then it ends in a weird way. And like you'll see the outro, and the outro will make you hang.
Yeah.
Right? And you kind of be like, is there like something I should be paying attention to? Like, and then the next episode come on, and then they give you just a little bit more of a nugget. And that nugget keeps growing as you go. And all of a sudden now, we in color.
Yeah.
Wait, how did we end up in color? Like they show you and you go like, well, what's the standard for that? Like, where is this going? And then, they have this meta way of, as you, the audience member, question what's going on, certain characters at certain times in certain ways that fit will also ask the same question you're asking in your head.
Well, see, now I'm just more excited to watch it.
And you're like, why did she just ask that? I'm thinking that, right? And like, it gets really meta in that way. And they do it in such a way that doesn't feel forced or weird.
Yeah.
And it keeps going and growing and growing. And then it takes off in about episode 4 and you're kind of off to the races. And then, but they're still doing a sitcom thing a little bit. And then they start touching into things that have already happened in the Marvel universe. And you start doing this shit and you're like, oh, and you start cross-referencing everything and you're like, oh, I get it. And then you're like, no, it's not, it's that. Oh, like, you're just going back and forth, and it's a hell of a ride.
I feel like I nailed my impression.
Probably. I just was in a little earlier than you talk about Garrett, and Julianne. I was in like well, I spoke to them after they watched the first 3 episodes 'cause they binged the first 3,
Yeah.
right? They didn't hop on to like episode 5 or something.
Okay.
And so they just went through the first 3 and then I was like, "So how would you think?" And you know how Garrett is. He was like, "It's boring as fuck."
Yep.
And I was like, "Damn."
Nailed it.
But I was like, "Why you gotta be mad? You want a beer? Like, you want a hug? Like,
I would
what
have
you
liked
need?"
it more.
And he was pissed off. But then after episode 4, he was like, it was really," and he calmed down.
You understand.
He was like, "It was really good.
Yeah.
It's really good." And I was like, "No, no, I want that same energy you had when you said it was boring as fuck."
It's been a long time since I've been on a flight and having to sit down for a long period of time. And the longest flight I ever took was from Long Beach to Atlanta. Uh, but there was a layover in Arizona, in Phoenix.
You
And
be traveling.
I mean, that was when for my old job.
Mhm.
I got sent over there for training. And I don't remember what I did for entertainment on that flight.
Okay.
So, first of all, I'm hoping that I can actually download these episodes because I don't know if there's Wi-Fi on this plane.
I
Does
don't
Disney
know.
Plus allow downloading like Netflix
I'm
does?
trying to remember. I think you can.
I sure hope so, because otherwise I'm screwed.
You better check. You better check before hey.
Otherwise, I'm binging it before I go.
Yeah. I wanna say you can.
But I mean, I got the backup is, I bought that Star Wars book that just came out,
Mhm.
The Light of the Jedi. This is supposed to be the origin, the beginning of the new, um,
Mhm.
what do you call it? The new saga that is gonna be the new Star Wars. And I'm
Oh,
really excited about reading it. I mean, from what I hear, solid
mm,
book, solid read. So I got that, and then I got my Switch. I'll play some games on the way.
mm,
But I'm more excited because I got some headphones that I'm
mhm.
super excited about. Some Sony headphones that they just
Is
sound
Christy gonna
amazing.
leave you alone long enough for you to do all that?
This is why
I feel like you got a whole plan and like you're not accounting for the misses.
she can look over my shoulder and watch WandaVision with
Yeah,
me.
you know that don't work like that. Come on, man. How long you been in this relationship,
Well,
man?
we're not gonna play tic tac toe for 6.5
Man,
hours,
it don't work that way, bro. Even I know that it don't work that way.
She mentioned that she's like, this is our first flight together,
See,
and I was like, "You're right."
see, see, see. It already starts. You ain't even left.
Yeah.
This is our first flight together, honey.
But what are we gonna do for 6.5 hours?
She's gonna want you to hold her hand.
I will while I'm watching WandaVision over here.
No, no, you have to concentrate on her hand.
Like, how long do I do that?
That's I don't. You know your relationship. I don't. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Like, I let her borrow a uh, book about it's like tales about times that like Disney's been sued.
Hmm.
That I don't know if she's finished yet, so I'm hoping that she's just gonna run through that book.
Mm,
She's more a reader when it comes to like forced reading than I am.
mm. I'm telling you, she gonna be talking your ear off. It's gonna happen. I'm calling it. Actually, when you get off the plane, shoot me a text.
Okay,
I want to know how much me time you got versus you and Christy time.
us time.
I have a feeling it's gonna be. I feel like in your head you're imagining a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
That's trending the wrong way for you, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Her AirPods are only gonna last so long.
Dude, when did she get them? Is the battery still good? But I mean, hey, man, you know,
It's gonna be a fun flight. I think it's gonna be a fun flight.
it should be a fun. I didn't say it was gonna be a fun flight. I'm not. Hey, I'm not. I'm not yucking on your yum.
She just texted me.
Uh-oh.
My plan was to read the book.
Oh my god.
I love you, babe.
Is that her right now?
You don't need to hold my hand for too long.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
Lord.
She's like, Ra, damn you, Ra.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god. Man, hey, I'm happy you guys are going to Hawaii though.
I'm excited.
It's-
I've been planning this itinerary for a ridiculous amount of time. The number one thing I'm excited about, the food.
mm.
I'm so excited to eat out there. It's like the food out there just looks
So
ridiculous.
inquiring minds want to know,
Yeah.
what are you bringing me? Wow.
Still debating.
Wow. Wow. Took you that long, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're gonna go see, so narrowing down where the souvenir is gonna come from,
I'm still in love with my Michael Knight Funko Pop, man. I'm still in love with that.
it's pretty sick.
It's dope. It's dope. He even got the chest hair. It's dope. I took a picture and sent it to my dad. I'm like, you ain't got one of these, pops.
I'm gonna post one of these on Instagram.
You
I'll
ain't
take a
got
picture of it and post it on
you ain't
Instagram.
got one of these, pops. And he was like, the hell?
It's like, what is that?
Oh, my dad like 65 years old. He don't fucking know.
He doesn't give a shit.
He was like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, why is Michael Knight on top of the car? Knight's not in the car.
Because his head's too big to be in the car.
I'm like, Dad, it's not how this works. Like, you just be happy for me. Just be happy for me. That's all I need.
I just don't like that it words it with Kit in like such small writing. Like Kit isn't like a part of the character. Like
Yeah.
Kit's half the box.
Right, I know, right? I mean, they could have made him small and put him in the car, though. They could have.
No, but that's not a Funko Pop.
It's not a Funko Pop. Yeah.
At that point, it's no longer a Funko Pop.
Mm, true life. I am appreciative of it, though. It's not a day I haven't looked at it. It's like up there as soon as I get up. I'm like, Edgar got me that. That's dope.
Oh, dude, you know what? I forgot to tell you too. Did
Mm.
I tell you that I ended up buying a share of GameStop stock?
Say that again.
Ended up buying a share of GameStop stock.
Okay. You still said it weird.
It was hard to say.
GameStop stock.
Yeah. So we talked
See?
about
Why,
like
why I say that better than you?
the whole crazy thing about what's going on with the stock market and
Okay.
GameStop and everything like that.
Okay.
I bought into it.
Okay.
It's been an interesting ride.
How so? Break that down before we get out of here. Break that down.
So I decided I was gonna throw $300 down the toilet.
Ooh.
I was like, $300 is no longer gonna be mine. Let's just see what happens.
Hmm.
So
Balling.
one share of GameStop stock was I got it for like 70
GameStop.
no, like
stock?
$85 or something like that. And the
Mm.
week that I bought it, I
Mhm.
feel like the week after that, it just started tanking.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well, this is cool. The other part of the $300 went to AMC, actually. AMC was supposed to be like the next stock that was going to blow up like GameStop did. So I'm like, okay, well,
This was a couple weeks ago, right?
yeah, this was a couple weeks ago that I
Okay.
bought it.
I'm like, you ain't doing that now, are you?
I'm still in it. I still own it. So today, or like the last 2 days ago, GameStop ended up just like soaring through the roof all of a sudden.
Mm.
No, I shouldn't say through the roof. I made that sound a lot cooler than it really was.
Right.
I bought it at like $85. It went to like $160. So I was like,
Okay.
should I sell? And I said, nah, man, I'm all in. Like, let's
I
just,
would I would honestly try to hold on.
yeah. I
You
was
know
like,
what's
let's just
funny?
write
You
it
know
out.
what's funny about that you brought that up, and this kind of pertains to the whole COVID thing.
Huh.
Another smaller chain, they had just made it out here to California. I forget their name of it right now. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy
Hmm.
because of COVID, and I think their whole experience, you might be interested, is I think they're kind of like a brewery,
Oh,
but a
I'm
movie
interested.
theater.
But what?
But a movie theater.
Oh,
So like you know how Cinepolis is kind of like
yeah.
get
They have like
your
their little bar inside of the
but it's more
theater
about eating dinner and watching a movie.
Yeah.
This is more about drinking beer
while watching a
and
movie.
watching a movie.
But I can do that here.
I'm just telling you what their whole business model is, man. Don't hate what they say in WandaVision. Don't hate the messenger.
Like, there's been things that I miss since the
Mhm.
pandemic started.
Mhm.
One of those things is when breweries would have, trivia night
Right.
or like a movie night or something where you would just show up at the brewery and there was like something going on. Sherry, who was our guest for our Valentine's Day episode,
Mhm.
um, she used to be a beer tender at a brewery over in what city was that?
Where
I
do you
think it was
meet
technically
these people?
Santa Ana.
Sherry used to be a beer tender, and
Yeah,
was
she
it
does a
Leah that
lot.
was a bartender?
Yeah, Leah was a bartender.
God damn it, man! I need
But
to meet friends where you meet friends.
but bars don't have trouble usually getting patrons to come inside. Breweries have to try a little harder.
Okay.
So the brewery that she worked at, like every week, they would have like a trivia night. And I remember one of the first times that Christy and I like really bonded.
Mhm.
We had there was a trivia night for Parks and Rec, and we went and killed it and didn't end up winning. But I think we got robbed anyway. they had a trivia night, and it's just like I miss that, where you would just go to a brewery and, like, just, like, gather with people that just liked beer,
Right.
and then you would go for the topic of the week. We went for, Pokemon trivia once, and, I ran into, like, an old friend that I hadn't seen, like, forever, and, it was just, like, cool catching up with him, and then, like, we were there for the same occasion, like, it
Mm,
was just, like, fun.
mm.
That's the kinda gathering I miss.
You know what's funny?
You broke it.
Uh, did I break it? Did I break it?
I fixed it, it's okay.
Oh, you fixed
Yeah,
it.
I took care of it.
You sure? What I was gonna say is, you and I
Mhm.
have only ever gone to one brewery ever together. We need to fix that.
Yeah, I mean, when we're allowed to go to breweries together again.
Time
Actually,
and
more
s-
and more breweries are open
time and
now.
space.
We, I went to a brewery 2 weeks ago,
Mm,
Four Sons in Huntington Beach, and they actually had a really nice outdoor setup. They
mm,
put up, like, a three-wall tent that really did a good job of blocking the wind. It was a windy day.
uh-huh.
Um, but they also have, like, most breweries are
But
in,
it's
like,
COVID, man.
warehouses.
Don't you want the airflow?
Yeah, that's why there was a whole wall missing. It was one of the longest walls in the building. But they also have, like, since they're in a warehouse, all the rolled up doors were open, so
Mm,
air was getting everywhere.
okay,
You dress warm. If it's gonna get dark, you're gonna dress warm because it gets a little chilly at night.
gotcha.
But I think it's safe to go to certain breweries right now.
Okay, okay. You know what I think we should do?
Mm,
Uh, Last thought before we get out of here is we should start trying some of these breweries, picking up some beer
mm.
and trying them on the show.
I'm down, but the one reason we don't really do this that often, where we, like, drink on the show,
Mhm.
is because we do these during the day sometimes.
That's true. Get your schedule together.
You know what, man? Like,
That's your fault.
sometimes I got control of it, sometimes I don't. It
I don't
just
wanna
so
hear that.
happens that I
I don't
have the
hear that.
weekend off.
The man who tells me he's going to Hawaii tells me he's not in control of his schedule. I ain't trying to hear that.
This is my first vacation in over a year.
I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear it. Miss me with all that noise.
Oh, man.
I ain't trying to hear all
Let's wrap this up. I'm empty.
Oh man, hey, my brother says don't go drinking. Don't go drinking with him.
Why? Why, Gordon? Why?
No, he talking about you. He ain't talking about me. He can't be talking about me.
Uh...
I'm cool to drink with. I don't. Man, I got man. People vouch for me.
I'm waiting for Gordon. He will make you finish his drink.
Huh?
Oh.
When that happened? When that happened? When that happened? I ain't never. I remember. I remember the I love. You want to go there? I remember the I love yous in the alley.
Oh, no.
I remember that.
Who hasn't given an I love you in the alley? I mean, come on.
After a white Russian.
All that just sounds dirty.
Yeah, I phrased that wrong. I failed. I failed. Oh God, when I make him finish, that's never happened. That's never happened. I've never had my man. Look, my resume is gangster. I've never had an issue finishing my drink.
G'd up from the feet up.
Huh? Yeah, all day, all day.
Or
That's
tore up from the floor up.
that too. Every time. Look, I finished my beer.
Yeah.
I'm happy, and the show is over. So that did not happen in no goddamn Santa Barbara. You was lit. You was man. I'm gonna have to have him on the show.
All right, Gordon, we're gonna need some clarification.
Yeah, man. That ain't even. Nope. Nope. And see,
And they never, ever, 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 ever.
hey, he got to be careful. He got to be careful because what he is not thinking about right now is I got video footage. See, this is my younger brother,
Oh,
right?
no.
I got video footage of the first time he officially got drunk when he turned 21.
Oh, he was 21. Give him a break.
No, 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 no. All I'm gonna say is the night was just starting. I leave to go down the street to go get some food. I go to McDonald's. I come back and he's out.
That's it?
It gets deeper,
Oh
but
gosh.
I ain't gonna tell that story right now. I ain't gonna expose him like that. But he was on one that quick. He was on. It was a quick night. It was a quick night. He was not ready. He had to get ready after that.
I think I just got an idea for our next episode.
What is it?
We'll talk after the show.
Okay,
I got
let's do
I
it.
got a good one though, I think.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in as always. This is another edition to the What You Know About It podcast. I'm glad you guys tuned in. Hey, listen, um, you know, sometimes we get a little serious. Sometimes we get a little serious about the COVID stuff.
Oh no.
You know, honestly, you and I were talking about it and about, if we should do this episode or not.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of, political ties to it, and we
Yes.
try not to go down that rabbit hole too much, but
100%.
we just want people to be safe. And
Yeah.
we are like, we're at the point where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel kind of deal, right? So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's where we want to be, and we're so close. So people just, whatever your political beliefs are, think of others, think of what you want long term for yourself. Let's get done with this bullshit, man. Like we're all tired of this shit. All right. I think that's what we're trying to say. All in all, is we all want something, right? And that something is to be done. Edgar got to go to Hawaii to feel safe. That's
Yeah,
kind
that's it.
that's the only reason why you're going, right?
Dude, like all we're doing in Hawaii is like hiking, like doing things by ourselves. Like I'm so excited. Like I'm not gonna deal with people for so long. It's great.
Crazy. Hey man, I wish you and you and the missus all the happiness on taking this trip, because you guys deserve it. You work hard.
We try.
Garrett, Julianne, I mean, hats off to you. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
You can go do that. The things were different, we'd be right there with you. But
I'll be there. I'm actually going to Hawaii with them.
You'll be there. You'll be there. I'll be taking care of the dog.
Yes, you will be.
But
Very
you know
important
what?
job.
I'm honored to do that. But it's not even a big deal. We're gonna hang out, and I already told Miko we're gonna get bitches. I mean, he's gonna get bitches. I'm just gonna drink,
You can get bitches too. He'll share.
That's not how I roll, Edgar. I'm not that kind of man, Edgar. Why are you trying to put me out there like that?
Miko's a homie. He'll hook you up.
Miko's the homie. He can get all the bitches he won't. Oh, guys. But anyway, hey, if you like this episode, please hit the like button. It helps us out a great deal. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This episode will be on all the formats that it's always been. It's going to be on audio, podcast. You can find it here on YouTube if you're with us now.
Thank you to everybody that did join in today.
Yeah.
John, Leah, Gordon.
Yep. Everybody, Joel, everybody, thank you for
Joel,
participating. Hey, likes, comments, everything. We respect it. We love it. Hit us up, wukipodcast@gmail.com. Or as the Panic Hispanic always likes to say,
Okay.
podcast@gmail.com. All right. Hit up the website, www.wukipodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and let us know what you know about it. All right. As always, until next time, be safe, be kind, and live a little bit.
Thanks, guys.